A conservative California native emerges as a candidate taking on longtime Congresswoman and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Who would have the nerve for this David and Goliath battle? She's Republican Deanna Lorraine.
Her name is Deanna Lorraine.
She's running against Nancy Pelosi in her liberal San Francisco district. It's the 12th district. She is an outspoken political and culture warrior.
I want to make sure the rest of America does not turn into the worst parts of San Francisco.
Joining me now is Deanna Lorraine, the Republican candidate for the 12th district, of course, Nancy Pelosi's district in California.
She is a 32-year veteran of do-nothing Democrats. Meanwhile, there are real veterans who have fought for our freedoms that are suffering on the streets that she ignores.
We will not be a socialist country, and we will never be a shit.
She wants to turn the rest of the country into San Francisco, and we as patriots cannot allow that. We need to fight for the America that we know and that we love. And this cultural decay that she has led San Francisco down is the biggest reason that I am fighting and bringing these solutions right to her front door.
Nancy Pelosi is the embodiment of cultural rot in America. And I believe that San Francisco is the epicenter of cultural rot in America. And I wanted to take the issues that I have with her, I wanted to take the fight for our nation's soul and our nation's families directly to the front line. And that's Nancy Pelosi.
It's very convenient that she's out there wasting so much time on this witch hunt on Russia hoax #2 or Russia hoax the sequel, right? When she's not even looking at the problems in her own district, in her country, like the homeless issue. It's very convenient that she's pointing the finger of the problems of America at the NRA, right, or guns. But again, she's ignoring the actual problems that real Americans are dealing with. This is the problem with her and the Democrats, and this is why I'm so outraged, is they're spending way more time on focusing on political correctness, focusing on identity politics, focusing on giving free health care to illegal immigrants, but they're ignoring the problems in their own backyard that real Americans are dealing with and they're suffering with.
The whole system is rigged. It really is rigged. There's ballot harvesting, there's illegals voting, dead people voting. Come on. It's almost like we don't have a chance, but I am running for Congress because I believe we have to fight. We cannot wave the white flag of surrender. We cannot let them win.
She is a communist.
Deanna Lorraine is running against Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, the head dinosaur who is attempting to cut off this administration at the head.
Trump is about all Americans. And you know what? Thank you for saying that, because you have the right to say that. That is your First Amendment right, and Trump wants to protect that. Our president wants to protect that. Democrats want to restrict free speech. Democrats want to restrict free speech. Democrats are the party of restriction. Republicans are the party of freedom, baby.
And I think that he's going to win an even greater landslide in the next election than he did the last one. All the polls, of course, are going to be wrong again. Their predictions are going to be wrong, and this is going to backfire big time.
Nancy Pelosi is the embodiment of that cultural decay, and the fact that she wants to turn the rest of the country into that is something that we just can't stand. I want to fight for America's soul. I want to fight for America's family, and that's why I'm bringing the fight right to Nancy's front door. How about that? You know, when she talks about moral responsibility and compassion, I think it's hilariously ironic. You know, where's her moral responsibility to the people of America? Where's the moral responsibility to those families and the people and the veterans on the streets that are suffering in her own district?
New face to California politics, and author and conservative activist Deanna Lorraine has her eyes set on Nancy Pelosi's seat in California's 12th district, officially announcing her congressional bid right here from the steps of San Francisco City Hall.
Now, I may not have Nancy's old age, but I got a couple things that she does not. Let's start with energy, honesty, and fresh, bold ideas that work.
We need to actually roll up our sleeves and deal with head-on the real problems that real Americans are dealing with and actually get to work and fix them. She's going to go. I'm going to replace her.
Lorraine's platform includes strengthening American families and addressing San Francisco's homeless epidemic, something she claims Pelosi has simply ignored.
Well, I think it's her experience that is her failure. How is she was elected to Congress when I was a toddler. How in 30 years is she have a district that looks like this? I mean, the most popular app in the last 6 months has been the San Francisco poop map. Sorry to be vulgar, but she's not doing anything but degrading this district and degrading our country. And she wants to make the rest of America turn into the worst parts of San Francisco. She's failing. Her leadership is failing. She's not taking care of the real problems we're dealing with, like homelessness, like crime, like the opioid crisis, like immigration. In fact, she's making these problems much, much worse.
How long has it been since she picked up the trash? Probably since before I was born. Nancy Pelosi, I invited you. You got my invite. Where are you? I don't think you're. Where are you, Nancy?
That she's not doing this job. She's not donning a hazmat suit or gloves or brooms or cleaning up her own trash. We are the ones that are going to have to do it for them.
Can this be done?
It can be done. It can be done. I have hope and faith in Americans that they will wake up and do the right thing and vote for a true patriot, someone who's actually going to be a leader in this country and lead them in the right direction.
The lady running against Nancy Pelosi, her name is Deanna Lorraine. She's a good lady and she's a good candidate. And I want the Republican Party to have more diverse candidates, more women, more people of color. I don't know how much trouble you can make in that district in San Francisco, but if anyone could do it, Deanna Lorraine could.
We need warriors in Congress, and we need warriors outspoken on TV to discuss these issues.
And I believe that God is calling all of us to stand up and fight. Because we are at war here. We are at war. It is a physical war. It is a spiritual war. And he needs as many of you as possible in his army.
We need to also talk about repairing the family unit and putting policies in place to create stronger families because we have a broken family system right now.
Yeah.
We need to protect our free speech, and we need to get those homeless and unemployed off the streets, off of government dependencies.
And Nancy Pelosi's on.
I cannot stand this coup that's happening with Nancy and the Democrats. They are focusing all their energy and time on impeaching the greatest president of my lifetime, who has done more for minorities and more for women and veterans that I've ever seen. And yet they're focused and wasting all their time on impeaching him.
President Trump has blasted Pelosi for solely focusing on impeachment efforts instead of her constituents and district.
She's a corrupt politician. She should go back to a district which is horrible. It's filthy. It's drug infested. Nancy Pelosi ought to focus on a district.
When she talks about a public health crisis, where are her eyes on the public health crisis that she helped create in the district of San Francisco? I don't know, the feces on the ground, the homeless on the streets, the trash piled up, the needles, the drugs. Where is her heart and her compassion for that crisis?
And to see what is happening in San Francisco, One American News went on a tour of downtown along with the GOP congressional candidate who hopes to fix what she believes Pelosi has left behind.
And Nancy Pelosi and her squad, they already made up their mind in October 2016 that they were going to take our president down, that they were going to overturn 60 million American votes. And they were going to do that one way or the other. Either they were going to find him guilty or something, or they were going to manufacture a crime.
It is going to take boldness of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things to save the America we know and love.
We do not need moral relativity, which is what the left wants. It's going to take boldness to stand up for truth and common sense in this backwards Orwellian country that we're now living in.
The impeachment is a farce, and it's nothing but projection and political theater. Look there where Trump is, and not here where our crimes are that we're burning the evidence of real quick. That's all. This is projection 101.
Wake up, folks! We are at war!
We're moving our country forward. My campaign slogan is God, family, and country. Her district has become a cesspool of homelessness, poop on the ground, trash on the streets. Veterans, homeless people are literally dying and suffering on the streets of San Francisco, and it's declined under her leadership. That is her vision for the rest of America. She's too busy doing those things, I believe, and the residents of San Francisco deserve better. The American citizens deserve better. We need fresh leadership, we need bold leadership, and younger leadership, and that's me. That's why I've stepped in. moved to San Francisco to challenge Miss Nancy Pelosi.
There are people that are really open for a change. They tell me directly they want someone younger. She's senile. She should be spending her retirement years, maybe playing with her grandchildren or off in Bermuda or something.
Growing grapes.
Growing grapes.
Yeah.
More importantly, she is ignoring the American citizens and the real problems that real Americans are facing. I will not ignore them. People understand this. They are ready for her to go, and they want some new, fresh leadership in, and I'm that leadership.
All right.
Feminism is destroying our culture. So we have to, of course, Nancy will never admit it or deal with it. The Democrats won't deal with it. Neither will the left. They're actually creating this and perpetuating it. We have to have a national discussion about how to repair the family unit, how to empower men, and how to empower and restore our relationships. And that's what I'm going to be doing on my campaign trail.
You are young, you're good looking, you're articulate, you're conservative, you're everything that Nancy Pelosi is not, in a nutshell.
Country. That is another reason why I'm so passionate about helping our president out in Congress, because he does need supporters in there. He needs people who are actually Americans and who could defend him. Not people who are anti-American, who weren't born in America, and who are married to their own brother, for God's sake. Yeah. Can we give it up for America? I believe in strong borders and a strong wall. I believe that we need to keep our country a sovereign nation. And to do that, we do need to build that wall. Sanctuary cities, they need to go. The hellhole that it's kind of become in certain areas. There are areas where there's lots of trash and garbage littering the streets. There are areas where there are so many homeless, where you are literally walking over homeless individuals and you are not sure if that person is dead or alive.
Good grief.
There are people, they're shooting up drugs in the streets. They are doing shady things within their tents on the streets. There are so many needles. I did a cleanup a couple weeks ago in San Francisco, and overwhelmingly, the number one thing we found when we were cleaning up the streets of San Francisco were hypodermic needles. Oh. So this is all over the streets. The pricing of houses has continued to skyrocket. And look, also the far left Democrats in Pelosi's district, they failed to protect Americans with failed gun control policies. So it's really scary walking around there in certain areas, and you're not even able to protect yourself. But that's what Nancy wants to do to the rest of the country. San Francisco is just a case study for what she wants to do to the rest of the country. And it's astounding that people would want to vote for those Democrat policies. I love America.
Deanna's running for office too. Against Nancy Pelosi.
It's going to take boldness in restoring our family unit. And it's going to take boldness in defending our God-given free speech. Because the left is coming after every one of these things.
Can we get any more in La La Land with Nancy Pelosi? I mean, geez, there's just so many issues that we should be concerned about. She should be concerned about maybe the opioid crisis, maybe the tons, almost 10,000 homelessness on the streets in San Francisco alone and in the rest of the California that her nephew, Gavin Newsom, is governing. I mean, we've got the biggest homeless problem in all of the United States. We've got drugs, we've got needles on the streets, we've got people in poverty, and we've got veterans that are committing suicide every day due to improper health care. Where are her priorities? And this is where her priorities are, on impeaching, for no reason, the best president in modern history. I am going to raise some very important attention, some national attention, to some really important but controversial family issues. Some of them being men's rights issues and fathers' rights issues that no one really wants to talk about. Some of those things I aim to achieve if I get into Congress would be a 50-50 shared parenting presumption in the event of divorce.
Whoa! Deanna Lorraine, she is special not just because she's running for Congress, not just because she is a Republican, not just because she's a female Republican candidate, which I've been fighting for a long time now. We need many more female candidates and people of color to show this country the Republican Party is diverse. All that's good, but the main reason she's getting a lot of national publicity, besides being a great candidate,
what she's doing to San Francisco, she wants to do to the rest of the country, and she wants an open borders. She wants a sanctuary country where illegal immigrants can come in, do what they please. There's no law and order. There is lawlessness. There is high crime.
I'm born and raised in California my whole life. I used to love my beautiful state. I almost want to move now at this point out of here. But before I went to that direction, I wanted to fight for this state. You know, I mean, I hate what Democrat leadership has done to California. I hate what it's done to San Francisco.
Because we need someone who's going to be a fighter in Congress. Right now, more than ever, we need someone who's going to defend our president, defend the America First agenda that millions of Americans voted for, that we are not fully getting right now. We need someone who's going to be a champion of American values, and that person is me. And someone who's not going to turn our country into a socialist country.
We need to impeach communist Nancy is what we need to do. I think that they're digging their own grave. And here's what they do. This is exactly what they did in Russiagate as well. Now this is Ukrainegate. Let's fight. Let's win this fight.
We're with you.
It is going to take more people boldly coming out and denouncing liberal policies. Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party, they're wanting to turn our country into a socialist country, and we will never be a socialist country. What she wants to do is turn our country into an open borders country so that they can have unlimited power for the next foreseeable future, for the next couple decades to come. We cannot have that, and the Republicans in office right now, most of them are not strong enough, they are not tough enough, they're not fighting back. I'm that fighter. I'm a champion of American and conservative values, and we need someone like me in office.
That's bull. She is a communist. Yes, it can be fixed, but not by Democrat leadership. It's only going to be fixed by a Republican.
I want to expose her hypocrisies and what she's been doing, the damage that she's been doing to not only her district, but the rest of America. I think a lot of people are starting to see that impeaching the president and focusing on impeaching efforts, there's just a waste of time. You know, that is just basically the Russia collusion 2.0. We're not getting anywhere. She's already dividing an already divided country even further. And this is not the way to make America greater. This is not the way to make America more prosperous again. There's also issues like the homeless crisis right there in her district, in the 12th district, San Francisco, that has been escalating under her watch. So how can the people of California, of San Francisco, or America really think that she's going to be a great leader when she can't even look at and pay attention to and fix her own problems in her own district?
She's got a great personality, right? Attractive lady. That's what we need for candidates. It can't always be middle-aged, balding, boring men for the Republican Party. That's our whole problem. I sound like a liberal now. It's a bunch of old white men running for office. No good. You got to get some diversity. We got to get black candidates, got to get Latino candidates, got to get gay candidates, got to get female candidates. You got to get attractive candidates, man. That's how you win elections.
We need to make as much noise as possible to talk about and expose their hypocrisies, the dangers that they present to America. I mean, the fact that they're operating like this is a coup to eject the president of the United States that over 60 million Americans voted for. We voted for his agenda. That agenda is being hijacked by someone who is a total traitor, who has proved herself to be a traitor of America, which is Nancy Pelosi.
And we need to put policies into place that strengthen the American family, because strong families create a strong America. With that, we also need to talk about actually preserving our children's innocence and protecting our children from the leftist indoctrination that's happening in our schools and in the media.
17% since 2017, despite pouring millions of dollars into it. The homelessness, the drugs on the streets, the garbage and the feces on the streets, and the crime, those are the things that bother them the most.
Trump needs help in Congress. I mean, he needs a fighter. He needs someone who's going to defend him, who's going to help enact the America First agenda that over 60 million Americans voted for that isn't fully getting enacted. He needs people who are going to fight for the Constitution and fight for America. We are at a crossroads right now in America, and I will be damned if it falls to socialism. That's why I decided to run for Congress and throw myself in the fire.
It just speaks to the hypocrisy of her and the fact that she's out of touch with the real problems that Americans are facing.
The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, by Edmund Burke.
Very much.
Thank you. I wanted to say, some people even told me, including some Republicans, that they said that I should maybe take God out of my campaign slogan. They said it's just too bold, it might be a little too controversial for San Francisco. And I have to just say, I'm sorry, but God is not a dirty word. It should not be a dirty word. We have to stop it. And that's exactly what's wrong with our country right now, is we have almost made it a dirty word, and people are not proud to talk about it in public.
We are family.
sisters and me. Woo, and my brothers. We are family. I've got a clean city.
We want to make sure that we get the homeless and unemployed off the streets, off of government dependencies, and into jobs. Because jobs create loyalty and pride in our country. We need to make sure that we restore the family unit. We need to strengthen our American families because they are broken right now.
Nancy Pelosi needs to get the hell out of office. She is too senile. She is destroying our country. She is a communist.
This is a political Goliath. Nancy Pelosi has been in office since I was a toddler, so I'm going to need a lot of support.
I might be small, but I'm feisty. Don't let my looks deceive you. I'm an Italian Spitfire, and I will go head to head with Nancy. I will give her the fight of her life, but do stay tuned.